Hi everybody, my name is Leslie Carhart. You may know me better in the hacker universe as Hacks4Pancakes. Today I'm going to do my Friday Fellows a little bit differently. I'm going to talk about some Infosec rock stars. And these are people categorized, not to offend anybody, as people who have their own Wikipedia pages or are extremely well known in the security world. And I'm going to talk about some people that I like, why I like them, and what you may not know about them that makes me like them. So, let me get started. I am going to start with Mr. Dave Kennedy, otherwise known as Relic. His professional title is Chief Technology Officer of Binary Defense. Had to look that up since it's changed. He's probably more well known as a bridge between the media and InfoSec. He's very often on CNN and other news outlets talking about security breaches and other security best practices. So he does a great job of that. He's also well known inside the security community as the founder of DerbyCon. And something people who don't go to DerbyCon, because I don't know how you can miss it if you do go to DerbyCon, he's a very, very nice person. He's not only very, very savvy and very technical, but he's a very nice person. He goes around DerbyCon hugging people, and I don't think I've ever met anybody who didn't like him. So he definitely makes the list. You should definitely follow Dave Kennedy. He posts a lot of good educational security stuff. The next person on my list today is Bruce Schneier. He is currently the Chief Technology Officer of CO3 Systems, but you definitely know him better as a prolific security writer and an essayist. A lot of opinion pieces about security. He's very involved with the security and privacy rights issues. You've probably seen papers that he wrote for the EFF. He works with them very closely. And you may or may not agree with his opinions dealing with privacy rights and security, but he definitely has an impact on the community in that area. And he's been in the security space since the very beginning. Something you may not know about Bruce Schneier is he and his wife, Karen Cooper, are extremely involved in the science fiction community. And they're great advocates and sponsors for science fiction and fantasy writers, to the point of sponsoring publications and conventions and being great patrons of writers. So whether you agree or don't agree with Bruce Schneier's security opinions, you've got to give him props for everything he does for the geekdom community at large. The next person on my list is Ed Scotus. And Ed Scotus is the founder of CounterHack. He's probably more well known as a SANS instructor. If you don't know what SANS is and you work in security, you should probably find out. In SANS, he teaches penetration testing and incident response. He pretty much wrote GCIH, the GIAC certification on incident response. So very, very influential in the differ community. Something you may not know is he created something called SANS Cyber City, which is a microcosm of a large city's kinetic infrastructure and SCADA infrastructure. So it's a little room with a model train-sized city, and everything in the city is connected to computers. And you do red team, blue team activities based around the city. It's made for people who do civic defense. You should go see the videos about it because it's really amazing if you like miniature train sets and you like security. So basically, if you do something in the digital infrastructure of this city, it has a kinetic impact in the little model town. Like you can make little rockets launch from a military base, and you can poison the water. So the blue team's trying to defend the city from this happening, while the red team is causing these kinetic events to occur. So it's really exciting stuff. But the reason why I want to be Ed Scotus when I grow up, and he knows it, is because he's also You know, I really like the people in security who don't let being an InfoSec rockstar get to their heads. So Ed Scotus, you can go online and search for this too, built a secret steampunk lair for his office, and he's got pictures up online. Um, so it's like he's got like a secret door in his house that leads to, I don't know if it's his house or his office or whatever. It leads to up some stairs, and there's like Nixie tubes, and it's I have a steampunk office, but it's nowhere near on that scale. He has just gone all out, from the desks to having secret doors and steampunk gadgets and furniture everywhere in this secret office. So I think that's really, really cool that people who get into security and make a lot of money and are really successful still have fun and do cool things with their money that are appreciated by the community. Okay, for the next person on my list, just because it'll annoy him, I have Jack Daniel. And Jack Daniel is a product manager at Tenable, and he's a fixture of the information security community and the convention circuit. He is he's a pragmatist. He calls himself an Infosec curmudgeon. And I think that's why I like him so much, because when the rest of the Infosec community is caught up with panic over vulnerabilities and exploits, he's the one telling us to check our patches before we apply them, and that businesses won't always allow us to do things we want to do as security people. So that's a really great perspective. He's very involved in Infosec education. As I said, he's been involved with Infosec since we started talking about hacking computers. So he's done a lot of great educational talks, including the history of Infosec, which I really enjoyed at DerbyCon. But about him as a person, outside of all the educational stuff he does, we normally, when we're talking about very successful, very famous people, we talk about how they're down to earth. Well, Jack Daniel is the least down to earth person I may know. He goes to cons wearing a top hat and sandals, and carrying a drink with him wherever he goes. He's super cool, and he talks to everybody. He will answer people's questions. He'll tell them they're idiots if they're asking a dumb question, but he will definitely help people out to the best of his ability. So wonderful person to meet. You can't miss him at cons. You definitely can't miss him at cons. I don't have anything else to say about Jack Daniel. Sorry, Jack Daniel. Okay, the next person on my list is Eve Adams. And Eve Adams isn't a hacker per se. I would say she's a hacker. She calls herself Hacker Huntress. She is a recruiting professional, and she was recently nominated one of the 100 most influential women in technology. And I can totally stand behind this. I know her, and she is a terrific bridge between the hacker community and the business community. So she's good at teaching hackers how to find jobs, how to keep jobs, and how to portray their ideas to companies. So I would definitely recommend going out to check out some of her talks, and she's spoken about all aspects of writing resumes and applying for jobs at conferences. But beyond that, she's very technically skilled, and she understands the hacking world very, very well. And she's able to bring that knowledge into the things that she talks about at HackerCons. And I think one of the things that I really like about Eve is she speaks her opinions. She always speaks her mind. And if that suit doesn't fit you for an interview and you look silly, she'll tell you it's the wrong color. She's very honest and willing to stand up for her ideas. So a very good person to know. Next up, we have CSO Andy, Mr. Andy Ellis, the Chief Security Officer of Akamai, and that is security on a big scale. I don't know, I guess I like other former Air Force people. He was an Air Force officer, so I'm trying not to put too many Air Force people on this list. He was also an MIT grad, so pretty much everything that I did wrong in my life he did correctly. He is a blogger. He writes great security articles about issues facing the information security industry. And the thing that I like about Andy Ellis is he's a very, very friendly person who will talk to people, give people ideas, and answer questions. He even responds to people on his Twitter, despite however many thousands of followers he has. So I highly recommend you follow Andy Ellis and try to catch his blogs. Protecting a Better Internet is excellent. And, sorry guys, I'm really tired. Yeah, so Andy Ellis, another wonderful Infosec great to follow. Okay, last but certainly not least on my list is Harlan Carvey. And Harlan Carvey is a Infosec Research Senior Consultant, long title, at Dell SecureWorks. And you probably know him better for his work in incident response and digital forensics. And he's another former military person. He was a Marine officer. He literally wrote the book on Windows Forensic. If you're doing forensics and you haven't read Harlan Carvey's books, you're doing it wrong. So things that I like about Harlan Carvey and why you should be following him right now. First of all, he will stop you if you like or favorite or recommend his posts without any comment. He'll call you out on it. And that's a wonderful thing because he thinks that people should have opinions and express them and have reasoned responses to things that they're posting out on the internet and why they're recommending things or people. And that's something we're kind of getting away from. We all recommend each other without thinking on LinkedIn. So very interesting guy, very opinionated about people getting out there and presenting themselves in a rational way. And the other cool thing about him is he does GoRuck, which is, if you don't know what GoRuck is, it's basically running obstacle courses, marathons through mud with weights on your back. So that's hardcore. Many props to that. So those are my Friday follows today. I hope that gave you some insight into some people you can follow on Twitter and some blogs that you can look up, and some more insight into people that you may only know as news commenters or bloggers. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Friday.